And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren, Jaime. Today, we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough as well as across New York City. Coming up, we'll be discussing AI-powered traffic signals, exploring how this technology can improve traffic management while ensuring the responsible use of AI. And following that, we'll learn about a new book that delves into how Aaron Judge established himself as one of the game's most intimidating power hitters, this after setting a home run record. And then after that, we'll be sharing essential information for accepted students, at Bronx Community College, preparing them for the upcoming semester. Then we'll delve into the benefits, the challenges, and the impacts of AI in the real estate industry, examining its potential to revolutionize the sector while being mindful of potential drawbacks. And then finally, we'll have an inspiring segment on a clothing line, empowering young girls to be their most confident selves as they head back to school. So stay tuned, because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I am Daren, Jaime, and you're watching Open, a live program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on Eminence channels. Now you can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on through the course of the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. And we start off with health news. Recent studies released by the CDC suggest that the number of New Yorkers affected by a meat allergy caused by tick bites could be actually higher than previously reported. The study revealed that approximately 10 out of every million New York City residents developed an allergy due to red meat due to alpha-gal syndrome, also known as AGS, between 2010 and 2022. The research indicates that AGS could potentially be the 10th most common food allergy in the United States. The allergy is primarily associated with the Lone Star tick, which is prevalent in the southern and eastern United States areas, including near New York City. Now, AGS reactions occur when infected individuals consume meat or products from mammals or ingest mammal-derived substances like gelatin. Symptoms of AGS can include hives, nausea, heartburn, diarrhea, difficulty breathing, swelling, dizziness, or severe stomach pain. CDC officials emphasize the importance of consulting a doctor or even an allergist if someone suspects they may have AGS. Additionally, preventing tick bites is crucial in reducing the risk of contracting the allergy. Well, in other news, in celebration of 104 years of dedicated service, the League of Women Voters organized a special tour at Woodlawn Cemetery and Conservancy, highlighting remarkable women. Our BronxNet reporter, Jonathan Calixto, brings you all the captivating details.
Come aboard as the League of Women Voters hosts a special tour here at Woodlawn Cemetery and Conservancy in honor of their Founders Day.
Founders Day is our chance to celebrate all that we've accomplished since women gained the right to vote, but also to recognize there is a lot of work that we're constantly doing to ensure that every New Yorker gets the right to have their voice heard.
Bronx resident Lowell Green shares the importance of keeping the history of remarkable women alive.
There are a lot of women who have provided history in New York State and the world, and sometimes they get lost the struggle. And it's always good to hear the story and the struggle so it doesn't get lost in the process of time, and to remind us that we've got to hold on to it. and still fight for it.
For Monica, spending the day with her granddaughter Samantha helped them learn more about one another.
Oh, I loved it. We had a great time. I mean, she taught me things about some of these women, and we learned a lot from the tour guide, so it was really nice.
With a motto of Vote Louder, the League continues to empower and inspire women of all ages and for many generations to come. Reporting for BronxNet, Jonathan Calixto.
And thank you, Jonathan. New York City Mayor Eric Adams revealed an innovative plan aimed at breaking the cycle of gun violence in New York City. Quote, a blueprint for a community safety plan takes a community-centric approach, prioritizing programs over direct police intervention. This blueprint specifically targets 6 NYPD precincts, the 40th, 42nd, 44th, and 47th in the Bronx, as well as the 73rd and 75th in Brooklyn. Now, these areas have been severely impacted by gun violence. The strategies outlined in the blueprint cover various aspects, including housing access, as well as public benefits, investment in public spaces, trauma-informed care, and improving community police relations. Early prevention for youth involved in gun violence is also included, and providing opportunities for skills training. Notably, the comprehensive plan was developed collaboratively with input from 1,500 residents. The primary goal, create lasting positive changes in the city and effectively reduce violence, even amidst the decline in crime rates. Well, that is all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We encourage you don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open coming up right after this.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Port Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug, you know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for ya. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
And we are back. The transportation sector is undergoing a rapid transformation with the adoption of artificial intelligence, revolutionizing traffic management and emergency response networks across the country. Now, while AI brings unprecedented advancements and opportunities, it also introduces potential risks that must carefully be addressed. Transit and traffic managers now face the critical challenge of safeguarding our nation's traffic signals from the potential dangers posed by bad AI. Sharing with us now, we've got the CEO and founder of Light, Tim Menard. I'm sorry, Tim, good to have you.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, Daren. Thanks for having me on Open.
Thank you. Glad to have you. Talk to me about this. When we talk about improving traffic, how do you feel this works out?
Well, improving traffic with artificial intelligence is really useful because look how complicated our lives are every day. Look at what happens on the street, right? We've got bicycles, we've got cars, we've got motorcycles, buses. We have just all of daily life. And it's really hard as just us people, right, to try and figure out these huge systems problems. So the premise of artificial intelligence helps us figure out where all we're going and why, especially today when we have the most information ever available at our fingertips in our phones.
I think everybody understands there is the emergence of AI and it will dominate society in just a short amount of time. But when it comes to traffic signals, of course, there's a lot of concern as to traffic signals being manipulated. How safe is it going to be for drivers out there? Give me your take as to how you see this playing out.
So the biggest thing here is that the traffic light really can never actually cause two directions to go green at the same time, so they can't actually cause a crash. But what it can do is actually, if put in the wrong hands, which is why there's so much security involved in this system, is that you can make everything go to the flashing red light. You could take a left turn off, and that would be crippling for traffic. And all of us want to get to where we're trying to go. So we all know what it's like to get stuck in a traffic jam.
But we also know that AI is going to be powered through radio signals. We know that those radio signals can sometimes be challenging. We've all had challenges when it comes to Wi-Fi. So when somebody's out there, what assurance does somebody have that we're going to be in a position of safety, knowing that these radio signals, and we know what happens when radio signals go bad?
So that's actually a good point, is where the AI lives, right? So if everything's just up in the cloud, then you have the potential for communication to turn off, for radio waves or some sort of disruption, where if you also have AI and it's actually local to each intersection, there's all these different fallbacks that are put into place. And remember, the traffic light is its own little simple computer. So as long as it still has its fundamental programming, it'll go back to normal operation, much like how in aviation we have triple redundancy in all these cases. So that the real important part here is that artificial intelligence has to be a part of the whole solution, not the only solution.
Yeah. We hear a lot about good AI, bad AI. Of course, there are pros and cons and everything, but when we talk about good AI, somebody says, listen, these traffic signals could be a great thing. But then you got on the other side people who are concerned about the bad. But for somebody who may not be so familiar, give us a breakdown between the good AI and the bad AI.
Happy to. So good AI is a lot around what I just mentioned, where it plays a part in a larger system. And so it's bounded. It knows where it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to stay in, what decisions it's supposed to make. Bad AI is effectively where you just kind of throw it out and you just let it kind of take control of everything. And so, like we've seen in some examples with like chatbots on the internet over the last year that are unbounded, they can start learning racism and all this other stuff. And if that same kind of approach came to traffic, that could be the result of all of a sudden vehicles prioritizing different colored cars or different types of cars just on its own. Or unfortunately, some people have tried to push like a pay-to-play situation where every single intersection is now tolled based on preferential treatment.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen movies, right? We've watched movies where we've seen traffic signals being manipulated, streetlights being manipulated. And I think for someone who's always out there, listen, there's always hackers. And when it's in the computer-based industry, people are worried about hackers. Then you turn around and say, listen, when it comes to AI and I'm on the road, I want to make sure that I'm safe. But from your perspective, give us your endorsement for saying, hey, listen, this is safe and this is something that we can look forward to.
So what's really nice about these systems that are working underneath the purview of good AI is that they're not taking any of the specific information. They're not taking your specific trip data. They're not taking your personal information. It's looking at just the aggregated whole, right? Like, let's take, for example, Taylor Swift's concerts lately, right? She's brought a ton of people in by bike, scooter, transit, right? In an AI system where it knows where the stadium is, and it can start detecting from the time the uptake in airport travel and everything else happens, all of a sudden you now bring this living, breathing reality that we live in to our roads that are just pavement and concrete, and now turning it into the same dynamic and momentous force that's a positive change for all of us.
So, Tim, give me what can we look forward to seeing in the near future, I think?
So in the nearest future right now, especially in New York, is really transit. The buses that are all on the road, they're driving on every major street. They've got high frequency. They're a great data point for what's going on in traffic, and they move a huge amount of people. And so using that information right there to drive traffic light and make the changes is one of the first steps. And that's happening in many other places across the West.
Yeah. On the safety side, enhancing safety, how can we go about better enhancing safety in a situation like this?
So there's two parts. There's how do we make it safer on the road, and then how do we make it safer in the communities? So
Right.
for like emergency services, what's the benefit of having all these green lights? Well, it's a two-pronger. The first one is you get the fire truck or the ambulance and they've got their lights and sirens on. As soon as that light turns green for them, what that really means is that hey, it blocks pedestrians from crossing. It stops side street traffic. And so AI can do that well in advance for multiple signals on the entire route. So what that's doing is making sure no one is going to wind up in that path where they can get into a collision, which results in a faster travel time for as far as.
Well, Tim, I want to tell you that it's definitely something we're all looking forward to coming in the future. I think a lot of concern just goes around, the issue of safety and whether or not manipulation, everything, good AI, bad AI, as we talked about right here. But when we look right now on our public streets, the average person is saying, when can I see this infusion? When can I see it hit my local neighborhood? What will you say to them?
I'd be saying that you could have it as soon as you want. It's actually, this technology is available today. So by all of us taking a stance and going back and demanding for better communities and what are we doing for our first responders and our transit, just opens up the path to how do we make the change for everything that's mobility based.
Yeah, because I think the everyday person is saying, listen, I see it coming. The question is how quick and how fast is it going to make its way to my door or my street? Because no doubt this is the way that we're going.
Yep, and New York specifically is in a great position where all the fundamental puzzle pieces are there. It's just connecting them together. It's like when computers first came out and then all of a sudden the internet. The most important piece that was missing was just having the cables that connected it all together.
Tim Menard, good talking to you, buddy. And certainly I think we'll look forward to seeing some things happening in the near future. So thanks much.
Likewise, thank you.
All righty. Now for more information, visit the website at Light AI. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back more open coming up right after this.
We all know what it's like to feel alone. But it just takes one new connection. Want to get out of here? To empower many.
This is unbelievable.
It doesn't take a superhero to bring forces together. We all have the power to reach out.
Let's go!
And help someone feel like they belong.
Pretty cool, huh?
We are stronger together.
Where did the time go? Somehow I lost all those years. Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here. Or how did I get here?
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
And welcome back. 62, Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees, and the Pursuit of Greatness offers readers an exclusive insider's view of baseball's most exhilarating seasons as it closely followed Aaron Judge's remarkable journey to surpass Roger Maris's legendary record and also etch his name in the annals of baseball history. The book delves deep into the season's unique challenges, exploring some compelling questions about where and how Judge would continue his awe-inspiring success. And here now, the Yankee reporter at Major League Baseball, Bryan Hoch, who's also the author of the book. And Bryan, good to have you.
Great to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I guess I gotta ask you the question first and foremost. I mean, we know about Aaron Judge's historic season, but when did you get the idea that we were on to something great here?
I'll tell you what, go back about probably a year, and Judge, the team was playing great. They were had a first-place lead in the American League East, and I know it feels like that was a long time ago, but it was only a calendar year ago. And I think that you look up and Judge had 31 home runs at the All-Star break, and he's having a great MVP type year. The team was playing great. And I said something special is happening here. And I think that as the season continued, it really became a phenomenon where it was a national story. Every night when Judge came to the plate. They were cutting in on college football broadcasts. I mean, it was really a special, special time to be around the Yankees and to be a Yankee fan if you were watching at home.
So for yourself, obviously going back to last season, it was historic. You were able to capture it and put it in the book form for all of us to be able to read. But for yourself, what was the point that you said, you know what, I got to get to writing because this here is going to be something we're going to be talking about for a long time to come?
Yeah, I started thinking about it in July of last year, and it didn't really take hold until the Yankees made a trip to Anaheim in August, and Judge hit 50. And you're doing the math, and you're saying, wow, he's 11 home runs away from Roger Maris. He's playing great. Nothing is going to stop this guy. And so that was probably the point when he got to 50. And then, obviously, everything going up to 61. It was such a momentous occasion to be around the Yankees. Everybody was kind of focused, laser on every at bat. The game's at Yankee Stadium. You had 45,000 fans all standing up, all holding out their camera phones, trying to capture a piece of history. And I said, this is bigger than baseball. This is bigger than just a player having a great season. This is kind of like a real phenomenon where we're going to be talking about this for years to come. And obviously I grew up watching the 61 movie that Billy Crystal did with the Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle chase, and that was captured for all time. And I definitely wanted to tell the stories of what I was seeing behind the scenes and what Judge was going through every single day. And I think we were able to capture that in the book while also laying it against the historical backdrop of just why this was so significant.
Not only do you capture in the book the significance of the moment and the year, because it was a historic year, and I don't think that we'll see that for some time to come unless Aaron goes ahead and takes it to another level for us. But you capture some of the greatest things that happened throughout the course of the season. One of those things were the walk-off home runs. And I'm looking back and I'm looking here. You got walk-off home run number 40 against Kansas City. It's July 29th. But one of the things about that you capture in the book is actually the exit velocity. When you see the exit velocity of this ball going out of the stadium, compare it to some of the things that you see.
Yeah, I tell you what, one of the cool things about baseball now is we have all that technology in the ballparks. It's standard in all 30 major league parks, so we can actually tell you how hard it came off the bat. For years, they've had radar guns that tell you how hard a pitcher is throwing the ball, but this is relatively new now that we can tell you exactly how hard these guys are hitting the ball. And Stanton and Judge, these guys on the Yankees, they're on another level. When they make contact, it goes 100 miles an hour plus, and it really is a rocket off the bat. And so I think that one thing that I think in doing the research, and I went back, of course, and watched all 62 of them again, he didn't get many cheapies. These were not little pops that snuck over the wall. There were maybe one or two mixed in there, but for the most part, he was hitting the ball long. He was hitting it far. And he hit some unlike anybody else really in the game. And so when he's healthy and he's right, as we saw early on this year, and now that he's back in the Yankee lineup because they desperately need him, he is such an important part of this team. And I think what this year, 2023, has showed us is just how valuable he is, because when he got hurt and ran into that wall in Los Angeles, the team basically cratered without him. He is the most important part. He is the heartbeat of this Yankee team.
You know, I think about, for me, basketball, Michael Jordan, and, that great run, and watching Jordan in The Last Dance and seeing that. Watching Aaron Judge last year, seeing him hit the 62, I know they're different sports, but give me your comparison as to what it meant for you being out there every game and watching really this rock star emerge amongst Major League Baseball.
I'm so glad you brought up the Jordan documentary, because that was kind of one of my inspirations to doing this, is that now obviously I didn't have a television camera. I had a notepad and a recorder, but I'm there every step of the way, and I'm traveling home and road with the Yankees, and I could just tell that something nationally important was happening with Judge. And that was early on in the process where he is one of the faces of Major League Baseball. I would argue that he and Shohei Ohtani are the two most recognizable stars in Major League Baseball. And so what he was going through on a day-to-day basis, and what really struck me about it was, even as the media, even as his teammates, we're all focused on, is Judge going to catch Roger Maris? Is he going to break Roger Maris's record? His focus never really wavered. His focus was always on, what can I do to help the Yankees win a game tonight? Whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, he can make a great play in the outfield. If he had to take a walk because the pitchers were not willing to pitch to him, he was fine with that. He would go to first base and rely on his teammates to do the damage. So I think he has been the ultimate team player. That's why he got named captain of the Yankees, which is something they do not throw around lightly. And I don't think that the pressure of the chase really set in until he got into the high 50s, when the Maris family came to the stadium, when they were traveling around, when his mom and dad and wife were coming to all the games. That's when I think he really started to recognize the magnitude of the moment. But what made it easy for him, I think, probably 1 through 59, was he was just focused on whatever he could do to help the Yankees win every single night, and that kept it simple for him.
Yeah, Bryan, you tapped into it for me because you talked about Maris's family, and I mean, here he is chasing Roger Maris. That record goes down. Here comes Judge. But you had the Maris family actually going to games and taking part.
Yeah.
You also had the Maris family, Roger Maris Jr., write a forward in the book. Talk to me about how much they were, supporting Judge through this whole ordeal.
Yeah, I think it's just a wonderful passing of the torch. Roger Jr. did write the foreword to the book, and I think they're so appreciative now that this record belongs to not just a player of Judge's magnitude, but another Yankee right fielder. And there's so much cool symmetry in it, in that Babe Ruth at 60, Roger Maris is 61, Aaron Judge is 62. They all played in the same city for the same team. They all played right field for the Yankees. So it's really cool that that the numbers work that way. And the Maris family, they were there for the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa chase in the late 1990s. But I feel like they've soured on that now that we know what there was performance-enhancing drugs involved and all that. So I feel like this was kind of a fresh start for them, where and Roger Jr. writes it in the forward, you can point to Aaron Judge, you say, this guy did it the right way, he did it clean, and now the Maris family considers him the true home run king. So I feel like it was great to kind of get a passing of the torch from the Maris family to now Aaron Judge as the single season home run king in the American League.
Before I let you go, got to answer the question that everybody wants to know. Do we see it again? 62? Do we see 63? I mean, we know it's not going to happen this season, but can we see it again from Judge?
Well, I mean, we might see it this season. Shohei Ohtani out in Anaheim is making a run at it, so he's making me a little nervous there. So I think that he should get to about 60 and then take a week off. I'm hoping for that. But I think that Judge, the sky is the limit. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year because he missed so much time with the injury. But if he can put together a full and healthy season like he did last season, then I think that he is one of the most dangerous hitters in the game. And, Mark McGwire says it in the book that he thinks that Judge has a shot at breaking Bond's record of 73. So wouldn't that be fun to watch if Judge can take another run at it? So Judge got the big contract. He's got 8 more years in New York after this one. We know he can hit in Yankee Stadium and perform in New York. So he's just got to stay healthy and stay on the field. And I think he could take another run at 62.
Well, I'll tell you what, he gave a lot of us here in the Bronx, of course, and across New York City, across this nation. I mean, sports fans were glued and riveted to seeing what he did and what he did for, the borough, the city. It was just great. I mean, I like Shohei, but my job is right here in the Bronx, so we got to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? All right, listen, Bryan, I got to let you go, but thank you so much for being with us.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Bryan Hoch, the author of 62. And if you want more information, please visit his website, bryanhoch.com, and then also follow him on Twitter at Bryan Hoch. Encourage you, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
And we are back. Bronx Community College is thrilled to welcome new and returning students for the upcoming 2023 fall semester. It's hard to believe that we're already there, but yes, we are. Now at the BCC, it offers a diverse range of academic programs, over 40 options tailored to equip students with the essential skills and knowledge needed for their future educational pursuits. And here now to share more, we got the Director of Admissions and Recruitment at Bronx Community College, Joshua A. Perez. So if you're thinking about going to school, he's got to talk to. Joshua, good to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
As I was saying off camera, I mean, this is the first time we get to talk in person. We talked
when I started
Zoom.
the position. I met with you when I started the position, and here we are.
Yeah, so how things been going?
It's been great. It's been great helping the people in the Bronx, providing resources, helping them provide and get to where they need to go, whether that's socially, economically, or educationally. We're here and we're ready to serve our Bronx community, essentially.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for 2023 and the fall semester, obviously for you, a very exciting time because you get new students at the same time, people who are returning. But give us this, because here we are in 2023. What's it been like? We talked about back in COVID.
Yeah.
And there were some challenges, but now more students coming out, more students enrolling.
Oh yeah, we're starting to see the community come out. As some of you may know, the Bronx Community College has a huge and beautiful 40-acre historical campus that's deemed a landmark. So we want to welcome the community to our space because we provide counseling. We have a food pantry. We have support programs like the ASAP program, our College Discovery program, which are built to help students get to that finish line. All of August, we've dedicated to registration, starting August 7th all the way through August 31st. We are offering Monday through Thursday in-person registration services where students can meet with financial aid, bursar, registrar, your advisor, and along with my admissions team, whether you're a new student who's been kind of nervous or someone who's kind of started the process and needs to get to the finish line, we've kind of created this hub where students can get all 360 services to complete enrollment.
We talk about new students, but really a majority of students that you have are those that are, some single parent, working, started,
yes.
Now I got to get back at it and cross the finish line. And for a lot of people, sometimes that's a hard hurdle, but you talk to us about bridging that gap, because for somebody who says, listen, I'm thinking about it, but I have these apprehensions, you do a good job of really walking people across saying, okay, let's talk about what your fear is.
Yeah.
And then let's get you in the classroom.
Essentially, we want to know what our students need, and our hub of services is what allows us to do that. So you touched on parents. We have an early childhood center where we provide childcare for incoming students. So that's a huge kind of sell to our students because we want to remove those hurdles. A student cannot be successful if they have 10 hurdles outside of the classroom. So our job is to make sure we help you tackle those so you can be the best student at Bronx Community College and start classes August 25th and feel confident in what you're doing and change that family narrative, because a lot of our students are first-gen students. A lot of our students are Latino and Black males and females coming to college and kind of creating their story. Yeah. And we want to be there to help them do that.
Josh, if somebody's watching right now saying, listen, I'm thinking I have the bug. I really want to go back to school, start this over. I still got some time. It's August. What do they do?
Well, come to the campus. Monday, Thursday, our services are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for our registration events. Tuesday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we're trying to catch the working crowd, but we're also catching those early birds who want to come in early and get started. You can ask for me. Ask for Joshua Perez, Director of Admissions. I will be at every single event every day of this month because that's what we need to do to help our Bronx people. And come to us. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Whatever it is that you're facing, we will help you overcome that.
Well, you know what the elephant in the room is for most people, it's finances, right?
Oh.
So what do you say to somebody who's got the challenge of finances and I don't know whether or not I can do it, I can pull this off? Your answer is?
Well, we're $2,400 a semester. I challenge everyone out there to put that number against any other institution and see if you can match that. We're one of the most affordable, probably the most affordable institution that a student can attend, but we also have resources like tuition assistance application, your TAP, your FAFSA, and we also offer a variety of scholarships to our students that we encourage them to apply in the admissions process. So we will walk them through any hurdle. And of course, as you said, money is a big thing, but that's why the community college piece is so crucial, because of the affordability and then the transferability to over 120 schools that we have agreements with.
Yeah, when I was talking with President Sigadebe, talking a little bit about just making it out of there after graduation. It's not just about you're invested in while they're there,
Exactly.
but you're invested in seeing them go to the 4-year institution and going across with that degree.
Exactly. And we have agreements with schools like Lehman, John Jay. So if you're staying within the CUNY system with our sister schools, or even to a state school within the SUNY system, or a private college, we have a variety of agreements that students can take advantage of, and we want to make sure that that transfer is fluid, especially within our CUNY system, because we're all working together for the bigger cause.
Yeah. The biggest hurdle that you think students face right now, what are you seeing?
I think it's the fear of I can't, it's not for me, I've seen others fail, or just not having someone in your corner rooting for you. And that's kind of where we come in, where I will sit with you and kind of listen to your story and say, well, I can connect you with this student, hear this student's story, meet with this professor who is in your similar position, and look, now they're teaching and they're kind of educating the community. You can do that same thing. You can become a change agent. So it's really just seeing someone like you accomplish those same things. And I think BCC provides that hub where you see all these things happening all at once.
Yeah.
Success stories, there will be struggles, it won't be easy, but nothing that's great comes easy. We all know that. So that's why we want to be there to push you up that hill and provide every resource you have, financial, economic, social, anything that you need, we have it there for you.
Are you seeing any trends among students right now, given the fact that we are, I like to say towards the end of the COVID crisis, but as we're seeing people come out of COVID and really into the classroom, more, not virtual, but really in person, are we seeing any trends?
Well, we're seeing a trend of students that maybe weren't too fond of online programs are starting to see kind of the flexibility in hybrid learning, where you can kind of work, do those things, and still be a full-time student. We've actually added an array of online programs that we're offering in September, that range from cybersecurity, which is a very booming business, liberal arts, and our criminal justice program. So we have a variety of programs where they can leverage kind of this new world of online, but still get a taste of the campus life, because the campus life will prepare you for that transition to a 4-year school, especially if it's a larger institution.
But if there's somebody out there that says, look, I thrive online, I became this online introvert, I can still take classes online and still be able to get a degree.
Yeah, we'll make it happen, and that's why we've introduced these online programs. We've even innovated our automotive program and added an electrical component, which is kind of us staying ahead of the trend, listening to the students and giving them what they want. So
somehow I don't think I can get the electrical degree online. The automotive degree, I think,
You might do one or two, maybe one or two, but you're gonna have to come in. I wouldn't want you working on my car.
That's what I'm saying. I used to work on my car.
Need that hands-on
I took classes
experience.
virtually, right? That's not going to be able to fly. What's the deadline for people right now?
So classes begin August 25th. I'm a big believer in early bird gets the worm. So if you're feeling the itch, you're inclined to do so, please come next week. But we are accepting applications all the way through August 25th. So please continue. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Our doors are open to the community.
Yeah. And, when we look at students right now, tuition, $2,400 a semester, it's very affordable.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys have been commended for low tuition and really being able to get students in the door and really get them back. For somebody who says, I wanted to do this and walked away, $2,400 seems like a great incentive. And you're seeing more and more returning students.
It's a huge factor. And once you educate students on the financial literacy of that within those 4 years of going to college, that $2,400 for 4 semesters goes a long way and saves you a lot of money. And we're not even talking about once you add on scholarships And if you receive full tap and Pell, you know, you're basically good to go, free tuition.
Yeah. Josh, good to see you in
Pleasure
person.
again.
No longer hybrid. We're in person now.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon. All right. Listen, for more information, visit the website bcc.cuny.edu. Also follow them on Twitter and Instagram at bcccuny. We encourage you to don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo? Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, for decades, people have been excited about the potential of artificial intelligence to revolutionize businesses, industries, and really society. And in recent times, innovative products like ChatGPT have captured the world's imagination, and they're expected to transform the way we buy and sell and invest in real estate. Joining me now and sharing more is the General Counsel Professional Standards Administrator at Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. Try saying that twice. Bryan Levine. Bryan, good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Thank
Listen, we were talking in the other segment about traffic, right? And how traffic has really been impacted, traffic lights, all of that. You bring over real estate and it becomes a whole nother world. I mean, when you talk about artificial intelligence, it's just making its way all across the board.
It is. It's taken over the industry right now. It does everything from chatbots. You think you're talking to a human being, but you're talking to a computer.
Right.
They're doing property listings, so realtors are no longer have to worry about listing their properties. It just creates it for them. It does marketing materials. It schedules appointments. It does virtual tours. It can pretty much do everything that a realtor can do.
Yeah. So when we look at real estate, the benefits, let's talk about the pros and cons, right? What are the benefits for, seeing AI in the real estate market?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is that it allows the realtor to do their job, which is the boots on the ground. They can get out, they can meet, they can greet, they can talk to people. And that's one of the greatest benefits for a realtor, because now they're not trapped behind the desk writing brochures, doing mailers, answering the phone. So that's one of the greatest things that it has. And it's also one of the greatest things because of the speed at which, if anybody's been on ChatGPT, it can spit out so much information so quickly because it scrubs the universe of what it knows. So that's one of the greatest pros. However, there's a lot of cons that come along with it. Number one, things like ChatGPT, it stopped training itself in September of 2021. So that means its brain stops in 2021. So that means it's already outdated. Second biggest drawback is it doesn't know what it doesn't know. So that means that if there's something outside the universe of the internet, it doesn't realize it's there. So for the realtor industry, one of the problems is we utilize a system that's called the multiple listing service. It is like Zillow on steroids. ChatGPT and AI doesn't see it because it's proprietary. So when it starts spitting out information, it doesn't have the best information that's out there. One of the third cons is it doesn't understand the concept of fair housing. So there are certain trigger words that are out there. Words like walk to worship, child-friendly, seniors. Those are all protected classes. AI doesn't understand that. Well, at least it doesn't understand it yet. So AI is trained. So in that training process, I always use the analogy, Max the dog. So we can all train Max the dog to do things, and Max starts to figure things out because it's trained and gives these opportunities. However, if AI isn't trained correctly and humans aren't perfect, then Max isn't going to get trained correctly. And Max is going to maybe have some inherent biases that are historical, which we're really trying to change. And a lot of those historical biases are fair housing and diversity related.
Yeah, we hear that conversation quite frequently when the issue of real estate AI comes up. There's also the talk, and let's talk about this, the loss of human jobs here.
Well, I don't think we're really going to lose human jobs. I think there's going to be a transition. Realtors are always going to be, as I said before, they're going to be the boots on the ground. They're going to be the ones that people are going to get out and meet. People knock on doors, people come in. People want human relationships. Realtors are never going to go away. They're going to have to retrain themselves. They're going to have to learn how to do those things like proofreading, ensuring that fair housing is being satisfied, making sure that copyrights are being enforced and copyrights aren't being abused. So they're just going to have to retrain themselves. But realtors, they're not going anywhere anytime fast.
Job security.
Yep, it's always going to be there.
That's it. I love it. But how do we ensure that things go right? You know, what can we do, knowing that we have AI out there as, you know, a realtor body? What do we do to say, hey, we got to make sure things stay in the right direction here? What do we do?
Well, we need to have up, I always use the bowling alley. You know, for those that aren't very good at bowling, you get those little bumpers that come up on the side. Well, realtors need to establish those bumpers. So it's internal. Number one, our federal government needs to catch up and our state government needs to catch up to create those bumpers to say what is going to happen with the use of AI. And right now, the law hasn't caught up with AI. AI is leaps and bounds ahead. So we're trying to play catch up right now with what's going on with AI. Real estate agents need to be hyper aware of the rules and regulations, whether it comes to copyright, fair housing, discrimination. And real estate companies need to establish their own protocols for in-house handling of AI.
Productivity and efficiency, how do you feel about it?
I think it's super productive. I think it's great, but there's going to be a transition to the efficiencies of what a realtor is going to have to do going forward.
Right. But I think we talked about this at the beginning when you said there is an expiration date when it comes to AI. You talk about 2021. Now you've got this whole situation of we're in 2023, bring us up to speed. Is there going to be a curve here where we're going to have to, you know, make some adjustments?
That's all up to the technology people, the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musks of the world. I don't know where it's going to go. I think ultimately what you're going to see is that you're going to see another jump in AI in the near future. But we're not there yet because we're just starting to learn how to use it and benefit it at this point in time.
Right. So what's the conversations you guys have been having?
Conversations about how to use AI?
Yeah.
It's a big challenge because a lot of people are scared.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to use it. They don't know how to use it. Now, I use it all the time. I jump on ChatGPT, and I was just telling you earlier during the break, I said I wanted to go to Chicago. I said, set me up a 3-day itinerary involving museums, the river, and Lollapalooza. And it gave me hotels and restaurants and everything. And it's very easy to use. So the agents need to immerse themselves into it. There is now virtual technology that's out there. They can utilize virtual technology to zoom in and almost take your client into the house without actually being there, and it creates that great comfort zone. It can tell you the exact square footage of a house, create that house, and make it look beautiful.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot to pay attention to.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah. So where do you go? Where do you go from here?
I don't know. I'm going back to work. That's where I'm going from here.
Yeah. Well, Bryan, it's good to have you. Thank you.
Thanks
good conversation.
so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Bryan Levine. Now, listen, if you want more information, visit the website at hgar.com and then follow them on Twitter at Hudson Gateway. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to need your notes on Chicago, too, by the way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open coming up right after this.
Most hiring algorithms would scream me out.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I'm getting clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I'm more than who I am on paper.
I never got a college degree. And today, I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
One of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history at Post nightclub in Orlando.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved. If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
We are back. The back-to-school season is underway, and parents everywhere scrambling to get their kids as well as themselves ready for the new year. Now, joining us to discuss all things back to school and why this year is all about confidence, comfort, and self-care, we have got Natalie Coughlin, who is the 12-time Olympic medalist and mom of two. She joins us now, and Natalie, good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations. First of all, great to have you. You know, you're in the role of mom of two and really trying to make sure the kids are ready for back to school. You got your own schedule, but now really getting the kids back to school and on schedule, that's a schedule all by itself. Talk to us a little bit about this here because how do you get young girls and empower them, particularly at a time like this?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that little girls face between the ages of 6 and 12 is waning confidence. And so here at Athleta, we want to empower young girls to be their most comfortable, confident self. So one of the things that you could do is get them clothes that they don't have to think about anything. It's just comfortable. So like my daughter, she's big into climbing monkey bars and climbing trees and practicing her cartwheel. She's really, really active. So if she's going to wear something like this, it's perfect because it has a built-in short. So it'll support her in all those activities from school to play to sport.
And when we talk about school to play to sports, I mean, that's a big transition. You help kids, I should say, really be in the area of having better confidence. And when we talk about confidence, what are some of the great confidence boosters that you see coming just by wearing clothes and having the right kind of back to school gear?
Well, having stuff that you don't have to think about, you're comfortable in it, and so that you could just be a kid. And one of the things Athleta does so well is have all these little hidden details. So we have confidence charms, we have hidden affirmations like in the fabric itself, like little tactile details, stuff for kids. Like if they get nervous, they could, fidget with and keep them, contained and confident. Like there are all these thoughtful details that are built into all of our pieces, which is really, really great.
And how much do colors make a difference in all of this?
as an athlete, I always said, look good, feel good, play good. So I think this is the cutest outfit. And I know my daughter is going to be so happy in back to school outfit, head to toe. Again, it's something you don't have to think about. Sets are a really big thing in fall. And so we have these two pieces. They go well together. So they could just go to school, be a kid, be confident, play, and know that they're covered.
So for more information, I mean, obviously, we know about you. You're an Olympic swimmer, 12-time Olympic medalist, and then also a mom of two. What's that transition been like for you from going from swimming now to taking care of kids and empowering others?
It's a tough transition at times. And I don't know about you, but like my summer schedule is all over the place. And so with back to school, I am really looking forward to getting back into my routine. Because yes, I'm an Olympian. I love going to the gym, but I haven't been able to do all the things that make me the best me all summer. So I'm really looking forward to when my kids get back to school, I'm going to get back to my routine, which starts at going to the gym.
And you talk about routine, and that's a routine. The fall routine for parents is huge. When you're during the summer, you're making sure the kids are taken care of. But almost when kids get back to school, it's almost like we get back into our fall routine. What advice do you have for parents trying to get them back into their fall routine?
Yeah, just take care of yourself. Like I know, speaking for myself, I am the best mother when I feel good, when I've burnt off some stress, either by going for a hike or going to the gym or going for a swim. So I know that everyone benefits when I take care of myself in addition to taking care of them.
Self-care is huge. And we talk about self-care all the time on the show. But talk to us about self-care when you're talking about back to school.
Yeah, when you're talking about back to school, we're Athleta, we are rooted in performance. So one of the great things about all of our pieces is it's going to last throughout the school year. So you're going to have pieces that even, I know my kids need their clothes washed constantly. These pieces go into the wash and they come out looking just as good as new. So they're going to last you throughout the school year. They're going to be comfortable in them, and it's going to support them through any activity that they're going to do.
So you've got an exciting girl line at Athleta. And for more information, how do people find out more about the girl line?
Yeah, please visit athletagirl.com for all of these pieces and more.
All righty. Well, Natalie, I want to thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations. When are you going back? You say you're going back into the athletic routine once you get the kids off?
Yeah, once I get to my kids off to school in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go back and hit the gym. I miss my weight room.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you, and thanks for being with us here on Open.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, I want to let you know if you want more information, please visit the website at athletagirl.com. I want to let you know we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all our guests for joining us, and most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast, Optimum Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or watch us anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. And as always, you can catch a brand new episode of Open with my girl, Rena Valentine, on Friday. She talks all things arts and entertainment. That about wraps up for this episode. I am Daren Jaime saying make sure, keep this channel wide open. We also say take care, God bless, we'll see you soon.